working directly to the inside, manages to find the space. Can he get it stopped and turned in? Yes, he can, but Leroy holding it round the outside, runs very deep, runs off track, gets a penalty, keeps the possession. Not sure he'll be too happy with the way things have unfolded. It was very minor, just ran wide, and ultimately a very harsh penalty awarded, so Leroy holds on to the possession, but at what cost, Jack?
Well, it's a cost of 3-second time penalty. Same with Ishida. He's just gained yet another 3-second time penalty for Olimpo. And I'll have a quick look at the penalties just to see who has got what. So Jeroen, the only one within the top 8 with a penalty, but it's a 5-second penalty, which you probably have to serve on his pit stop. Lewis as well, 8 seconds of penalties to his name. Leroy just picking up his first 3 seconds. RJ, 5-second penalty for speeding as well, so he'll serve that on his next stop. Ishida, 6 seconds, and Timo, 3-second penalty as well to his name. So not really too many penalties within this race so far, which is fine. Miami's, I don't think, usually known for a race where you can get a lot of penalties. I suppose when it first came out, yeah, it would be, but yeah, no, on this one, not really too much goes on with that one either. I'll tell you what's been a bit of an interesting one though. Obviously, since those pit stops have occurred, Daniel has actually been caught up by Smokey and by Jeroen. We were saying this before, where he was about 2 seconds up ahead of those other guys, but Smokey has done a sublime job to catch himself back up. And as you were saying, with Daniel making that small little mistake previously, I mean, Smokey and Jeroen, they're going to be putting that pressure on him. Timo picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits as well. But this battle I'm quite interested in is this battle here for P10. Leroy versus Bama. Of course, Leroy has a penalty to his name. Bama doesn't, but we could see Bama potentially get a jump on not only Leroy but also on Lewis out in front as well.
We'll see if he can be able to get that move done, but very low on battery. Both these guys very low on battery, it must be said, as it's generally speaking going to be very difficult to maintain for such late portions of the race. So that's Leroy from Bama out there on track, still having a look out for Macho, where eventually he's going to come out in relation to our current top 3. He's up behind Felix 1 at the moment. Of course, we'll be looking to get that move done quickly. Felix 1 does have a load of battery though, over 70%, so could be a tough nut to crack then for NSX Macho. Of course, racing for Team NSX, trying to come from a long way back here down the straight. You can get a great run if you've got low wings, can garner up some overspeed, and here is that closing speed. Macho to the outside is going to fly past Felix 1 then from a long way back. You can see the power of DRS battery, and of course, if you are running a low downforce setup, which Macho seems to be doing because he's able to cruise through, get that P6, and it's important not to lose much time for when these top 3 will come in. Smokey is closer to the Daniel, still deciding to wait though. Jeroen tucked in, of course, will have to serve that penalty, which will drop him behind Campbell. No stops at the moment from those guys, so right now they're okay with extending this medium stint, because I don't think that anyone wants to really test the lifespan of those soft tires. They want them still to be in good condition by the end of the race.
Yeah, no, they certainly do. So yeah, at the moment, I don't know. I feel like lap 23 is when we're going to see a lot of drivers make their pit stops. I think the softs only really last about 5-6 laps. So yeah, lap 23, lap 24, I reckon we'll see a lot of pit stops go down. Then Kyle and California both changing positions as well. California now down in 17th, Kyle up into 16th. Again, any sort of points mean, any position means some sort of points. Even if you are 20th, you still get at least 1 point, provided you have finished 90% of the race, or at least I think it's 2 to 3 laps behind within the race. Even if you DNF about 2 to 3 laps behind, I think sometimes the race it does classify it as the race for yourself as well. So if that is the case, then you do score points, which is what happened in the first race with, I think it was Hooky for Esports Wales. Because you've DNF'd, I think it was 2 laps to go, or on the last lap, he was technically classified for a point in the end. So yeah, that's how that went down with that. But yeah, first person I'm seeing, the first person I'm seeing that's put in for his second stop to go on a set of softs is Crazy Birds, interestingly enough. So this could be a bit of a bold gamble on those softs, because as I said, I don't feel like they would last that long. If they do, then fair play, but I mean, I feel like it could be struggling towards the end of this race.
We will see that is quite a long way to go, but it's now a chance that some of these medium middle stint runners are going to be taking. Jeroen, who's serving a penalty, Campbell and Tony all in. Felix One is coming behind them as well. Jeroen coming out behind Campbell in the end. And is that behind Tony? It's so glitchy in the pit lane on this Codemasters game. Yeah, Jeroen is also behind the Aston Martin. So Campbell is going to be out there nicely in 4th place. But you can see that gap up to Macho. And I think that's saying that's going to be up about 8 seconds. Tells me that when these guys pit, Dida Daniel and Smokey, they're going to be coming out some way behind Macho. And the question is, will those soft tyres they'll be putting on have enough grip, have enough life to get them up towards the, you'd imagine, soon to be race leading Haas, NSX Macho, 40 NSX as Smokey picks up a penalty. So right now, it has to say it's those two Haas drivers that look the most likely to dispute the front of this race.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. So Smokey, costly error for a 3-second time penalty. California, a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit, and also realised he picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. About, I think, in the same lap or about a lap ago as well. So yeah, just got under 6 more laps to go now, and the race leaders are in. So Smokey in, Daniel in. Where is Macho going to come out in relation to the rest of those guys? He should come out in front of them, but I don't think that's going to really last for too long. I think the rest of those guys are just going to jump him very quickly.
Let's see what that gap is going to be, though. Macho is certainly going to have the lead by a few seconds. We'll see whereabouts they're going to come out. Dida Daniel and Smokey emerging from the box now. It's not going to be much. It is only about 1.5 seconds between first and second. That is certainly an achievable gap for the man that has dominated much of this race to chase down. So Smokey, of course, with that penalty, you'd imagine he's hoping for some drama for the top two, for anything to happen to try and open up that race when seems unlikely at this stage. We've got just under 6 laps to go then. Still some scraps out there on track. Jeroen just from Tony. Those guys on the same strategy running to the end of the race. Jeroen very low on battery, using the last of it to try and distance Tony up towards the DRS, so might have just about done enough to hold that place. As Smokey going around the outside, heading through turn 11, gets the move done. That's a spectacular move at the end of the DRS zone, and what that's going to do is going to hold back to the Daniel. Maybe these guys can slingshot each other with some DRS to get up to Macho quickly, but Smokey with a penalty, why not? Trying to throw a spanner in the works, trying to spice things up, but I think now Dida Daniel for Hamburger is going to try and fight right back. Smokey doesn't quite get the DRS, but he is closing fast on the race leader. Here comes Dida Daniel to the outside, trying to draw alongside. He just about manages to get in front late on the brakes. They bang wheels slightly, heading through the final couple of corners, and Dida Daniel just in front with more momentum, but the DRS is going to be with Smokey. Tucks in underneath the rear wing, pulls to the outside towards turn 1. Is he going to snatch that second place right back? Yes, he does. He gets into P2, runs deep, holds it now. Now he has the DRS off of Macho, so if Smokey is making any sort of play to try and win this race with a 3-second penalty, that is just about the perfect way to give himself half a chance.
Yeah, no, it certainly is as well. So, yeah, now they're back within the DRS of Macho, as you say. It's now going to allow Smokey to at least hold off Daniel, but at the same time, I said that 3-second time penalty, I think it's just, there's not much else that he can really do about it. I think unless Daniel gets a penalty, then I think Smokey is pretty much solidified for 3rd place finish here. Or if Smokey gets another 3-second time penalty, then there's a chance that Campbell could jump up ahead of him. But yeah, at the moment, Smokey with the 3-second time penalty. I didn't actually check on who has gotten what. I think you might have mentioned it earlier. Oh yeah, no, sorry, you did mention it earlier. Who's just got the wild card, which is just Jeroen, who's sitting in P5 at the moment for Relentless. So yeah, Jeroen for Relentless at the moment in P5, 1.7 seconds behind Campbell. But this top 3, all so close. And not only that, 8th, 9th and 10th as well. Bama, Leroy and Felix won. But here we go for this race lead. Smokey going to go down the inside of NSX Macho, down in towards probably, as I said, the heaviest braking zone on the circuit, and now into the lead of this race. Smokey has got an opportunity to try and break 3 seconds up ahead of those 2 Haas drivers and see if he's going to be able to do it, or if Macho comes straight back at the VSR driver. Very late braking for Macho. Don't think that was going to be expected, but Smokey goes for a switchback on him, and beautifully done. Daniel as well is going to try and follow suit. Daniel has gotten a double overtake done. Smokey's still there with him though, but Daniel, what a move that was. Give yourself a pat on the back. That was insane through that first section there around Miami. Oh my goodness.
That is opportunistic driving at its very best, and Smokey is going to try and fight back then. That was absolutely brilliant from Daniel, but he's going to lose it straight away, I think. Smokey's going to come around the outside, and Macho is going to fight this one back. Macho on the mediums to the inside, trying to get that one. Don't they touch? And Macho nearly goes around, manages to save it. Daniel 2 places and 1, and then nearly losing the back. Smokey does take the lead, but Daniel will be absolutely fine with second as it stands without a penalty. That was a breathtaking bit of racing right there, and Smokey comes out in the race lead, but with, you'd imagine, the fastest man of the race sitting in behind him, unless he gets a penalty as well. It doesn't look like the race win is going to come from Smokey, but that was some bit of racing, and in the end Macho had to split back, but on those mediums that was going to be inevitable, and he's going to look, I imagine, just to secure that P3, or potentially stay within 3 seconds of Smokey, maybe snatch a P2 to go along with it.
Yeah, no, he certainly could do. And also just watching this battle here for P5 between Tony and Jeroen. A bit of contact between the pair of them going through that final corner. Jeroen still just holding on up ahead of the CRL driver for the time being. And I think Jeroen is going to be able to hold on to this position only just. Jeroen's managing to hold on to position for Relentless as well. RJ picking up a 3-second time penalty for his troubles as well. But yeah, at the moment, Smokey doing a nice job. It's a shame he has that 3-second time penalty because this is putting on some brilliant racing between these 3 guys so far. But yeah, at the moment, Smokey leading this race, Daniel in second, Macho's in third, Campbell's in fourth, in a little bit of no man's land. He's got 5 seconds out in front of him and 4 seconds behind him, so I'm sure he'd probably like to be involved in at least something, or he's probably just content just sitting where he is at the moment. Jeroen in fifth, having a little bit of a scrap with Tony behind him in sixth. Lewis in 7th, Felix 1 in 8th, Leroy in 9th, Bama in 10th. There was a nice little scrap that was going on between these 3 guys as well. There was a scrap going on, between them a little bit ago as well. And unfortunately for Bama, he just didn't end up coming out on top. He's now, of course, sitting down in P10. Felix 1, I think, made a very nice double overtake on both Leroy and Bama as well. Not the same places where Daniel did, but it was a very nice double overtake to say the least. But as I said, there's a nice battling going on up and down the field. It's just a shame we can't capture it all as Ashida going around, and in fact has a bit of front right end plate damage on his car as well. So yeah, very unfortunate for Ashida. He has he's now got damage, and he's now hindered for the last 2 laps of this race.
Yeah, that's a frustration. I think it must be said then. And yeah, Ashida is just going to have to essentially just soldier on, get to the end of the race. Has a decent gap to Crazy Birds, but 6 seconds of penalties. That is going to cost him, I think, in the end. Up front, Smokey still leads. Daniel still holding down that second place. Now, maybe on the battery, may want to win this outright on track. Macho, to his credit, has hung on in there on 10-lap old mediums. I know the softs will be dropping off, but still within that DRS range, keeping his chances of maybe a win if there is a mistake from Daniel, and certainly a P2 from Smokey's penalty, as long as he avoids getting a penalty himself. So it's looking good for him right now. Behind that, the race somewhat settling down. Still a fight between Jeroen and Tony, and a very important one for Jeroen, of course, as Macho, as I just say that, picks up a penalty. As I just said, if he doesn't pick up a penalty, and he does. So what do I know? That will certainly cost him P2. Probably won't cost him anything beyond that. Campbell is too far back. Jeroen and Tony still going at it. Jeroen will want to hold on to a top 5 with the double points. Cost himself, of course, with that speeding penalty, but ultimately I think for that team, 5th place for Relentless, probably not exactly what they were hoping for, but ultimately it's not a bad use of the wild cards.
No, it's not a bad use whatsoever. I don't think there is. There's not bad use whatsoever. I think he's done a decent job with that. Smokey, though, final lap of the race. Unfortunate for him, he just needs Daniel to pick up a penalty, but it doesn't look as if Daniel is going to be picking up any sort of penalty anytime soon. Smokey is going to be the one that looks like he will take it out on track unless Daniel has something to say about it. And it looks like Macho will take 3rd position as well. Campbell, as I said, still just sitting in no man's land. He's been dropped by another second by those guys out in front. and it sort of kept the gap the same behind him, still about 4 seconds behind him with Jeroen and Tony. Tony, though, just starting to put up a bit of a fight up behind Jeroen. Don't think he's going to have, don't think he has a straight line speed in comparison to the Relentless Driver, but yeah, I think it is just a case of wait to see only a couple more corners to go. If Daniel does end up picking up a penalty, doesn't look as if he will though, as that is a spinner towards the back. I believe that was Timo for ERT.
It looks as though Duda Daniel might want to put the exclamation point on this race when heading towards the dying moments of the race. He's going to go to the outside, heading into turn 17. He's going to cruise past Smokey. I think Smokey's going to throw down the anchors on the brakes. This is what we want, side by side to the line. I know a penalty will decide this, but they're still going to go at it. But Duda Daniel sweeps around the outside, and it's going to be both the win on track and overall. He wins it for Humberger, and my oh my, that team is going to have a solid lead in the point standings after that.
Certainly will. So very nicely done for Team Humberger. That's 2 wins now for Team Humberger. Oh, I think they're going to. I think we already see a favourite team going forward in this event. Smokey did finish in second in the end. Very valiant effort from him. Just that 3-second time penalty who hindered that. Macho third, Campbell fourth, Jeroen in fifth, Tony in sixth, Felix 1 in 7th, Bammer in 8th, Leroy in 9th, Lewis RC in 10th, T Griff in 11th, RJ will finish in 12th, Speed Gareth will finish in 13th, Carl Sarrett in 14th, but with Speed Gareth's penalties, as Kyle will finish in 14th. It looks like Crazy Birds will finish 15th, Ashida 16th, California is 17th, but of course with penalties with each of them as well, I think California might actually get the jump on Ashida. Oh no, saying that, no, never mind. California has 8 seconds of penalties, Ashida has 6 seconds, so never mind. California finishes 17th, 18th actually, because of Hooky all over the back of him as well.
That is going to bring to an end then the 5th race of this 24-hour event. A decent race around Miami, not the greatest one either, but still some good action out on track there as they all fight it out there. As we mentioned, Humberger should have a good lead in the point standings after that. The next race after this is going to be at Australia, which I will also be commentating on with James Head. So I think, oh no, you don't have a break, you're going to be racing, so yeah. Right now you just can't get any rest, can you, Jack?
No, I definitely can't. I think after this though is when I will be having quite a bit of rest, so yeah, this is quite a fun one to say the least. But yeah, I mean, I said just for this for the results of this one, like I said, Daniel, very valiant effort. Smokey as well, again, just commiserations. Drove very well. Just that penalty just did not help you out whatsoever, my friend. And then yeah, Macho as well. Good drive from him. Again, just a penalty. There's not much you can really sort of do, to be completely honest with you. Campbell, Jeroen, Tony, Felix 1, Bama, Leroy, Lewis, RC, T Griff, RJW, Kyle, Gareth, Crazy Birds, Hooky, Ishida, California, Timo, and Energetics, all rounding out the final points for race number 5. And I think we want to try and get lobby number 6 started ASAP, which it's completely understandable. So hopefully we can get this going quick time. I think they're just actually waiting for us, the majority of us, to sort of finish as well. But yeah, I mean, any sort of stand-up performance within that there, Dan? Anyone sort of shine for you on that?
Well, really, it was just those guys up at the front that I think really carried some of the entertainment throughout that race with a nice old battle. Yeah, I mean, Macho, you can say coming from 7th on a bit of a unique strategy and putting himself in the fight for the win. Just again, a penalty costing him P2 in the end, but that was a very good drive from him. But yeah, great performances all the way down the field, certainly. And yeah, ultimately a decent race to watch. So hopefully the next race in Australia will deliver some excitement. We'll have a bit of a break, and then you can get tuned in to watch the 6th round of the 24-hour event as well later on.
Yeah, certainly can. So we're just going to go to a very quick break whilst we're just getting the rest of the lobby sorted out. Most of it is done. We're just waiting for the rest of it. And yeah, we'll back yourself very, very shortly.
Hang on, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I can't hear Dan. Hang on.
I think he's. What?
Hello? What the hell's going on? Oh, oh my god. If we are live, by the way, good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the 24 Hours of F1. You probably heard me panicking there in the background. It is because I can't hear my co-commentator, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully it'll be fixed just now. Of course, my name is James Head. I'm going to be taking you through at least one shot qualifying indeed. And Chazoo Hype, yes it is indeed the real James Head. We're going to go on board with Menno on the rundown and towards turn number 1 here in Australia. We'll see what he can do, of course, on this lap, coming in towards turn number 1 through the right-hander, then to the left-hander of turn number 2, then down towards Whitfield corner at turn number 3. Montana is already up there along with Matos and Sebi Alex, who's up there as well in Whitfield. And then we come through turn number 3, through the left-hander of turn number 4, then in towards where Vettel famously spun in 2010 through turn 5, then in towards the newly repurposed turn number 6 and 7, which is, of course, this right-hander at the end of the first sector, 28.9, I think that was through the first sector for Menno, as he now comes in towards the middle sector split, the quickest middle sector in all of Formula 1, and Menno now reaches towards the end of this middle sector split. This middle sector split is a 44.4 in the middle sector, so very quick indeed, sub 18 seconds through there. Now negotiates the chicane nicely. Montana the bad on top, Sebi Alex in second, Menno there in third, Jerry Zuck and AJ currently fourth and fifth. As Zeno there comes in towards the right-hander of turn number 11, then in towards the right-hander again of turn number 12, then through the left-hander of turn number 13, which is the next corner up and coming, breaking in towards the third gear, up to 4 on the exit of the corner. Jacob's been disqualified for going the wrong way, of course, out on the track. He is going at the back of the field. Little blocks the same as well. But Sebi on the run toward the line is out on top. In fact, it's Montana out on top to 117.214. Sebi Alex there in second. Menno there in third at 17.283. Only 700 of a second covering the top 3. Pipe saying as well, apparently I'm really silent, which is not that good. Hang on, I'm going to try and turn myself... Oh, another wonder, my mic. It's turned all the way down. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Hopefully Mr. Hogard is alongside me in the commentary box as well. I'll unmute you. There we go. You are here. Thank goodness for that. You're out of retirement. You're out of retirement. You are here. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, although that was an incredibly stressful run of events there, just trying to get things set up. My settings, my microphone settings were all wrong, so that's all on my end. But we're all good to go now, and we should be able to cover this race, no problems.
Hopefully, yeah. Montana out on top, though. Sebi Alex in second, Menno there in third. In the end, Smokey, I think, actually had a disqualification. I was looking forward to him, certainly, trying to take it up to Montana. I've just turned my desktop audio, by the way, up as well, so hopefully that is all okay. If not, then let me know in the comment section. We'll try and turn things up a little bit more. But Dan, of course, at the end of qualifying there, Australia, really good qualifying session, and the GOAT, Montana out on top again.
mean, who else? Let's be fully honest. Who else would be on top? But incredibly tight up at the top of the standings, and that's been a theme I think in these one-shot qualifyings. The top three has always been incredibly close so far in this event. So I think we should hopefully get some very nice, close, exciting action heading up there. I'm hopefully going to be able to get into spectator. I was also late into the lobby, so hopefully I can actually get a good look at it once we do go into the race. I should be fine. But yeah. Exciting race, hopefully in front it's going to be your standard 50% distance. And yeah, with, well, right now the Team Humberger dominating at the moment the proceedings out there on the track at the moment. We'll see what they can do as well. And hopefully, though, we get a bit of variety in the winners. We see some of the other teams try and work their way back into that title fight potentially further down the line.
Definitely so. 500 lights now going out here in Australia, and this lights out and away we go. Montana gets a very good start. Good start by Menno as well. And behind there's already contact with the wall there on the right-hand side. I think that might have been Old School off the line as Montana leads in towards turn number 1 from Sebi Alex in second. Menno there in third. Somebody's absolutely cascaded in the background there. I think Old School has spun. Mick, I think I had to cut across the grass there if I'm not mistaken as well. Now in towards Whitfield corner 4 the first time, and Montana leads the way coming through turn number 3. The left-hand return number 4. Then through the right-hand return number 5. Montana out on top. Sebi Alex in second, Menno there in third. My co-commentator's just left the lobby, which is not that great whatsoever. Clearly still having issues with crossplay, but Montana there out on top, Sebi Alex in second, Menno there in third. As we reach toward the end of lap number 1, Charlie Harris right on the back of Menno as well, running down the straight. I'll get everything turned on, by the way, in terms of telemetry and the lights, and hopefully that is all okay. Now Montana though out on top from Sebi Alex in second, Menno there in third. Let me know, by the way, if the volume is better. I am sure it is a lot better now. As Charlie Harris right on the back of Menno. He's on that set of soft compounded tyres in the Red Bull. Red Bull Esports, of course, we're watching a little bit earlier on. As now Charlie Harris comes around the outside of turn number 11, tries to get the job done, doesn't quite get the job done, but Montana leads on a set of hards. Sebi Alex in second, Menno in third, Charlie Harris in fourth. Do you need another invite, by the way? As Charlie Harris dives it down the inside of turn 13.
Yes, I could do it with another invite into the lobby quickly.
I will commentate literally on this battle of Charlie Harris, and then I'll try and invite you in. Charlie Harris has breezed past Menno down the straight in towards turn number 1, and that is job done there for Charlie Harris. He is through, and he's into that P number 3. Hopefully I can get you in. Hopefully you can see everything going on in the background. Oh, I don't have you as a friend, apparently, which is great, and it's taken me a long time to even know that my invite friends, which is not that good at all. There is action going on in the background. Of course, Montana is under pressure from Sebi Alex there, first and second position. Montana handling that pressure well on that sort of hard compound tyres. As I say, yeah, the invite friend is clearly not working at this stage. Coming through on crossplay. We'll go on board with Sebi Alex, who's still on the back of Montana. I will definitely get to you and your invite in just a second. Unless somebody else can invite him, that would be really good. We are down a driver, I believe, as well in the lobby. Montana leading the way, Sebi Alex in second, Charlie Harris in third, and a very good race now as Sebi Alex sets his sights on Montana in towards turn number 11, but not going to get the job done. I think we've just seen Smokey get past J. Cole as well for 13th.
Yeah, and also I have just pinged you a friend request, so you should be able to find me now.
TamD23, is that you?
Yes, that is me. That's my previous alias that I don't use anymore. But yeah,
there we go. Yeah. There we go. I've accepted your friend request. I now need to send out the invite, which is not that great. But right on board. Oh, that's race director. I don't want that. Oh, and everything's just lagged. And Rocco was actually crashed out of the session as well, coming through the final corner. So Rocco, League of Europe Division 1 winner in Austria, is out of the race, and he is out for his team. But Montana leads, Sebi Alex in second. Charlie Harris there in third, now up into third position. I will definitely get around to inviting you. It's just not loading on my end for some reason. This is absolutely ridiculous. Give me a second. Yeah, you can't write the script. You cannot write the script. Unbelievable. Felix saying multitasking. Go to PSN and do invite by game. Okay, right, so I need to do that apparently, says Jess. Montana, Sebi and Charlie currently out on top. I am going to quickly flick on to a different... No, actually, no. I'm going to have to try and do this on my capture card, aren't I? This is the behind the scenes that you never see in thingy. Why am I starting a party? I don't want to start a party. Hang on. How do I even invite you through PS? I don't even get it. Montana, Sebi, and Alex and Charlie Harris are the top 3 anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you should be... I mean, I guess you should be able to find me on Friends. I don't understand why you wouldn't.
I don't have a clue. I really do not have a clue whatsoever. Yeah, lap 4 out of 29. Still Montana out on top. Sammy Alex in second. Charlie Harris in third. There is a pit stop further down the field. Falls Brendan is into the pit lane along with Micheletti. He's also into the pit lane. Set of mediums and set of softs currently on that car. I would assume they're going set of hards and then possibly transition to set of softs, as you have managed to get in, which is unbelievable.
I'll just say J. Cole was a bit of a legend. That's all I'll say to that.
Clearly, lead commentator here doesn't have a clue what he's doing half the time. Montana though leading the way, Sebby Alex in second, Charlie Harris there in third. Apparently Nolan said invite from party. Okay, I get you now. We're doing it through Discord though, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. Charlie Harris though right on the back of Sebby Alex coming in towards turn 11, and Sebby actually is going to have to try and go right around the outside. Charlie Harris around the outside of the chicane through turn 9 and 10. Great stuff, but now he's going to be under pressure from Sebby Alex back to the inside line through turn number 10 in towards turn number 11, and now they're side by side in towards the right hand of turn number 11. Montana just about holds the lead, and Sebby Alex just about holds second. Great battle that with Charlie Harris right on the back in third.
Yeah, and I can finally see what's going on. So we do have Montana leading. What a train, though, of course, on that rather peculiar strategy, running from the front, holding everyone up. But one thing that makes this race a really exciting prospect is just the bizarre mix of tyre strategies. Typically in the races leading up to this, we've had a lot of drivers opting for that medium. We do still have quite a lot of medium runners, but with Montana up front on the hards and a mix of medium and soft behind, it's going to make the strategic implications of this race really exciting to watch going forward. As that's, AJ and Jerry going at it then. AJ just managing to hold on in the Alfa Romeo. I'm trying to get caught up with this race, just learning on the fly here. But it is the Alfa Romeo from the AlphaTauri. Montana leading it, Sebby Alex tracing in behind. But yeah, with these tyre strategies, the future of this race is going to be a very exciting prospect.
Definitely so. Jerry's off there right on the back of AJ once again. They do carry a lot of speed down the straight because it's been reprofiled in real life. Reprofiled, of course, in the game on the on F1 22, and that is why we're seeing such straight line speed. And Jerry right on the back of AJ, coming out of the right hand of turn number 10 into the left hand, the right hand again of turn number 11. Nobody is close enough though. There's a big old DRS train, which I like to see around here. Also latching onto the back, VSR Smokey, who is one to watch out for certainly in this race. He qualified further down the field, obviously picked up an invalidation in qualifying, has made a few positions off the start as well, and Gary's right on the back of this train as well. Gary from Tesco's, of course, a little bit early on. A little bit of lag there coming into the pit lane as Jerry's into the pit. There was a little bit of lag, Spike, further down the field. I think it was Cole Paradox and J. Cole who were going side by side, with Jerry in the pit lane, set of softs off, and now set of mediums go on with Little Blocks and the most positions gained on 10.
And moving through the field quite nicely there at the moment, of course. Keeping an eye out as well, J. Cole was the one that started down at the back of the field, trying to work his way through, actually going around the outside of Jerry, who's just emerged from the pit lane. So that is a very awkward situation that has arisen there, and that's not really worked out for Jerry Zock because he's now behind Cole Paradox as well. So at the moment, Montana still leading, still one hell of a DRS train though, as we've got Matos lining up, Colin R. Mason. Those two are going to go wheel to wheel up towards the fast chicane. You can see there though, the extra speed of Matos is just going to take him around Colin R. Mason, who is of course Esports Wales double points for this race. So a lot riding on that for him, and he does slip down a position as the soft tyres they were running start to drop off relative, as Montana still holding everyone back on those cards.
And Smokey under pressure there from Little Blocks as well. I think Little actually tried to get the move done. Smokey around the outside. Little Blocks has gone back on the inside. I think he's locked up and he's hit the side of him. And Smokey now is behind Little Blocks once again. And Little is into the pit lane. Not sure if he's picked up damage. Colonel Mason, as you say, with that double point score potentially for ESW, who haven't had the strongest start to 24 hours of F1 events. Colin Mason, though, into the pit lane. Probably their strongest driver. And now they're on a set of medium compounded tyres pretty much until about lap 20, I would say, and then they'll be in again for probably a set of mediums or a set of softs later on in this race. Charlie Harris out of the pit lane as well, and J. Cole coming right in the thick of this action as well. The Red Bull is slowing in towards turn number 1, and now J. Cole all over the back of him. Obviously, still, oh my god, J. Cole is through, and he's into 10th position in one of the most unorthodox overtakes I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think that was a lag spike for Charlie Harris there, which ultimately set him behind in a fairly spectacular situation. Not the biggest glitch we've seen there in the race in Canada. We saw a ghost safety car driving on track for the entire race. I still have no idea how that happened. Montana still leads with Sebi Alex. Sebi Alex and the Willie still lining it up, has a little look inside, heading into turn 11. Ultimately nothing doing though. Still a little while for this these medium stops, you would think. Alex, of course, again also with double points in this race for SF1L. So he's going to look to try and get this race lead. The win potentially on the cards, we will see. He's got the DRS, but holding back on the battery, actually holding a lot back. He's down up at 70%, and you sense that these guys at the front, they're not really racing each other as such. And you'd think that Sebi Alex on the mediums would benefit from getting the move done. RT Mick dives in to the pit lane, barely gets a slow down, was very late on the brakes. He manages to get in, and we'll see how these strategies are going to unfold. Charlie Harris, that unfortunate lag spike is setting back. Now he's going to get the run on J. Cole and through, but that is a time loss that you really didn't need.
Yeah, it was only a couple of tenths of a second, but that couple of tenths can spawn you to lose that position, and that's exactly what Charlie Harris has done. But that time, clean overtake in towards turn 1. Job done. He's doing his into 9th position. J. Cole and Jerry Zock as well, chasing them down as well. Jerry Zock, by the way, Zock meaning searched in English, which is unbelievable. I searched that up on Google just for a bit of fun fact. Jerry Zuckler in 11th, J. Cole in 10th, Charlie Harris there in 9th, Sebi Alex there applying a lot of pressure to Montana. Are we going to see the move maybe in towards turn Montana? No, we're not, because Montana has got a little bit of DRS from his good friend Old School, and that is a little bit of controversy that we've seen in LOE this season, just put it that way, with the DRS being enabled from the leader. Montana now in the lead of the race. Is he going to dive into the pit lane? No. Sebi Alex right on the back. But I think I agree with you on your last point on the last lap there. Sebi Alex is now going to try the move because Old School's out the way. Sebi Alex now surely is going to apply the pressure. And if you were in his shoes, Dan, Sebi Alex, I think, has got to go for this move sooner rather than later and just try and exploit those cards a little bit too more.
Should have done this earlier. He's got 80% ERS. There's plenty of pace, and he's got plenty of resources to get this move done. As he goes for Verstappen and AJ battling it out there, and it may be the Alfa Romeo that comes out on top. They nearly touch, hitting through turn 5. He has to back out of it then, as that's a very, very nasty bit of the track. Could potentially go save back to Ecos Verstappen eventually, just having to get out of that one. And now he's got Matos with the run.
Oh my God!
Into the wall. So he turned out of the corner and ultimately did not expect the wall to come up on him that quickly. So Matos, a bit of a bizarre mistake on the overtaking attempt, is ultimately going to have to give that one up. It's AJ though that's holding these guys back. Ecos Verstappen may look to try and counter-attack. Doesn't look like it's going to come though, and these guys will all have to set in line, as Sebi Alex still sitting there with 80% ERS, and Montana has been allowed. I know he's good, but he should not have been allowed to run this entire first stint at the front on hards. He's still maintaining the lead. Will we see any pit stops at the front? Yeah. Montana is going to come in, and this has worked out like a dream for him.
It has, and he's going to be probably around Charlie Harris, Jerry Zock, that sort of area, I think, coming out, probably even ahead of those guys when he comes out the pit lane. So the Swiss man is in. The 4-time LOE Division 1 champion is also into the pit lane, and he is onto that set of medium compounded tyres, and he will go, of course, around 11-12 laps, and then go, of course, onto that set of soft compounded tyres if he wants to towards the end of the race. This is going to be close, though, because Charlie Harris is coming down the straight. Montana, though, well ahead. Remember, though, with that Charlie Harris overspeed, he will catch on this lap, but it's not going to be enough. He's not even going to be in DRS range at the end.
To the wall, and that's a reset to track heading out of turn 1. That's just coming out of the pit lane there. He recovers in the end. His Blocks has gone into the wall as well after going for that undercut. So a few mistakes starting to creep in back to back here, as things may start to get a bit scrappy. Ecos Verstappen is looking at AJ still heading up towards turn 9, doesn't get the move done yet, but we've seen a few mistakes down there at turn 1. He'll have another chance there with the third DRS zone, and AJ's not going to fight this one, I don't think. Through it goes Ecos Verstappen to P3 on the road. Montana, it's going to be interesting to see if that tyre warm-up on the medians is going to hurt him, or if he's going to use that undercut to good effect. Sebi Alex and Menno, those guys running nicely up the front. They're going to split strategies. Sebi Alex is going to come in very aggressive on the pit entry, and of course, chasing a potential race win. We'll see where he comes out relative to NSX Montana, then hitting a lap later. We'll see how these strategies are going to unwind.
Yeah, definitely. So Montana is coming around the final couple of corners through turn number 15, and Sebi Alex is coming toward the end of his pit stop. This is going to be quite close, actually, on the exit. I think it's going to favour more Montana than Sebi Alex, but this is going to be extraordinarily close in towards turn number 1. They're going to come out side by side through turn number 1, and Sebi Alex nearly forcing Montana off track, but Montana just with that overspeed, just with the traction. In fact, actually, I think he's had to give up the position. An illegal overtake, I think, there for Montana, and Sebi Alex is back through. Either that, or it's tactical. And if it's tactical, I like what he's planning, because he can just sit, wait him behind, let Sebi Alex drag him along, pull away from Charlie Harris, and then it's game on, really, between these two, it seems, for the race win. Also, by the way, Coronel Mason's done an undercut on Matos. He's now ahead of him. Cole Paradox still yet to come in the pit lane as well. But Montana now, right on the back of Sebi Alex once again. Either that was tactical, Dan, or that was just pure instinct for Montana and wanted to try, and was, as I say, an illegal overtake.
I think he did go off the track very briefly. It's hard to tell. But right now he does seem somewhat content to sit in behind Charlie Harris, is shadowing these guys. Ultimately, without that lag spike with Jaco, you'd imagine he'd be in that fight. So you say it can just be a few tenths of a second, but those few tenths of a second matter as he goes for Verstappen. Speed into the pit lane. We've seen quite a few of those incidents taking space. He's gone for the softs, interestingly enough, so we'll try and recover on this stint. Sebi Alex dragging Montana along. Montana using some of that battery. You can see coming out of the pit lane there, it's going to be Menno. He's going to emerge just behind these guys. Montana used a bit of ARS as a bit of an insurance policy, I think, to make sure he was still in front. And he's going to attack Sebi Alex here up towards turn 3. So he goes to the outside. Does Montana very, very late on the brakes. Can he get it stopped and turned in? He can indeed. And they're going to be level when he get a turn 4. But Montana gets the upper hand and through. I think that tells you it was an illegal overtake. He intends to lead this race from the front, and he's done that. And Sebi Alex, well, he covered the inside, but ultimately just had no answer for Montana's late braking. Gets around the outside, and I think Sebi Alex now, with plenty of battery, it's going to be his turn to tuck in, which so far he's been very happy to do. Charlie Harris now gets the move done, and with older tyres against the guy who's warming up his tyres, that's a good little move to get underway quickly, and Menno will look to try and counter-attack as soon as possible.
I think he'll probably counter-attack in towards turn number 10 because now Menno right on the back of Charlie Harris turns off the ERS though. Might have to go for the overtake anyways because of the overspeed to the inside line through turn number 11. Charlie Harris leaves him absolutely zero room whatsoever. Menno, to be fair, was coming from an absolute mile back. That might go down if it's reported as a racing incident, but Charlie Harris comes out on top. He's still there in fourth, still there on those warmer tyres as well. He's going to be around 15-20% worse off than Menno at this stage. Australia really does take the medium compound tyres out on you, especially if you go into a set of softs later on, and that is what I think we're seeing with J. Cole into the pit lane. He might go into a set of hard compound tyres potentially in this strategy, but AJ still leads the way. Montana there in second, Sebi Alex there in third, Charlie Harris in fourth as falls. Brendan has left the session. Hopefully we can get him back in. Verstappen though, B-Tech Verstappen, competitive Verstappen, we're going to be commentating on in around about half an hour's time. The Ecos man there in seventh on that sort of soft compound tyres, doing very well, and now he is searching on the back of Jerry's off.
Oh, you didn't have to do it entirely like that, James. Wow, wow. B-Tech Verstappen, how about that?
He's going to prove me wrong now.
Well, here he goes. He's listened to you. He's going to get that move done nice and easy, heading through the middle sector up towards turn number 9. So he does get that move done nicely and manages to just about nick some DRS off Menno, I think, to carry on that momentum. Menno, he's a bit further back from Charlie Harris. I don't think the move's going to come this time out. And what Charlie Harris has done now on these older tyres is allow the top two to completely distance themselves from everyone else. Montana and Sebi Alex, those two are fairly comfortably clear now as Charlie Harris runs fractionally wide there out of turn 12 and gets a penalty for his troubles. So maybe struggling a little bit out there at the moment, still running on what will become an FP3, but I think that Menno is going to look to do something about that. Then on the double DRS, he's going to get that move done, heading into turn 1, and it's going to be a nice, easy, late-breaking move. Slots down the inside. Charlie Harris will try and fight back, but he won't have the DRS. He's still using that overtake. He's not giving this one up. Tucked in the slipstream there, but enough overspeed from Menno is going to secure that place. He covers the middle of the track heading into turn 3, gets it done, and now he goes for Verstappen, just touching the back of on Charlie Harris. He'll try and get through, and of course he's on his Velen arc after your comments earlier, so he's going to look to get this move done as well. Continue to move through the field on those softs.
Yeah, B-Tech Verstappen becoming A-level Verstappen, I think, at this. Verstappen on the back of Charlie Harris, running around the right-hander of turn number 6 and 7. Again, a little bit of a lag spike there from Charlie, just brings Verstappen a bit closer. Here comes, though, VSR Smokey around the inside of turn number 8. Trying to get the job done down the straight, and he has got the job done. He smoked him in towards turn number 9. Smokey through, and he's into 7th position. That was going to come out anytime, anywhere on this live stream. Smokey now coming through the right-hander of turn number 10. Job done. Of course, he was running up to Otis Lawrence, if you didn't know, in WR Season 13 in the Xbox here. And Smokey now, with zero practice, to be fair, he did really well last time out in Miami, last race. And Smokey now beginning to try and latch onto the back. And looking at his pace, he looks so much quicker compared to Verstappen and Charlie Harris. Verstappen obviously taking those softs out of play, and Smokey now is beginning to get back into play here. And AJ, by the way, into the pit lane as well. He's for a set of soft compound tyres. He's coming out well behind, I think actually in the gap between himself and Matos. So Jerry and Matos there, he's in the middle of that gap. Montana though still leads, Sebi Alex in second, Menno in third, Verstappen now settling down on the back of Charlie Harris. Both, however, though, Dan, with a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, and again, for the second lap in a row, Verstappen has just nudged Charlie Harris heading through turn 4. Charlie made a bit of an error heading through turn 3 and now has lost that DRS to Menno, so now things are really going to open up. Verstappen may look to try and get things going quickly. Smokey, as you mentioned, he's coming from right down the back of the field, so what a charge it has been from him, and to say he is not out of the question of a podium at this stage in the race. We'll see how things are going to unfold then. Charlie Harris biding his time as Liquid Blocks has gone round again further down the field. That is heading out of turn 6, so a couple of mistakes then in what has been a frustrating race for Liquid Blocks. Verstappen again hitting the back of Charlie Harris, and this time the Red Bull has got a lot of lag there, as now Smokey is going to go looking right outside of turn 12. No space there, but he's certainly on the hunt as these guys all concertina together heading through the final corners of the track. I think Charlie Harris may well get bailed out here from some DRS, so for the second time in this race, the DRS provider is just that AI car of old school, and he has saved Charlie Harris from Verstappen and Smokey. Jerry in there behind as well, so Charlie Harris is holding these guys up on all the tires with some old school help. Verstappen to the inside, heading into turn 3, and this time he's going to get the move done, no problems.
Yeah, good job there from Verstappen. Actually had to overcome that old school on the outside line in towards turn number 3, in toward Whitfield corner. Verstappen, though, making him now look like the real Verstappen, I've got to say. He's up into 4th position. We've gone from B-Tech to A-level to GCSE level, I think, within about 3 laps. But still, Smokey on the back of Charlie Harris is now looking to come from an absolute mile back to the inside line of turn number 9. Not going to try and get the job done then. Charlie Harris, to be fair, is closing up right on the back of Verstappen. Thought there was going to be 3 wide potentially in towards the chicane. That was going to be wishful thinking from all of them. And now Charlie Harris again on the back of Verstappen, and he's going to breeze on by and might actually let Smokey on the way through as well. And actually Charlie Harris blocks the inside line through turn number 11, gets the job done, fair and clean move that, and now lets Smokey in for this battle. This is, by the way, for a net P4 out on track as well. Jerry Zocht and AJ in this battle. 5-second penalty, by the way, for Verstappen for speed in the pitch. 3 seconds for Charlie Harris. And then the most positions gained at the minute. Well, it's that man there, Smokey, 11 positions gained. AJ now getting the move done on Jerry down in towards turn number 1, and that is the job done for him in towards turn number 1. And now what happens? Because the Alfa Romeos are going to be in the same battle. They're not, of course, teammates out on track because it's a team event. Charlie Harris, though, pulling away from Verstappen. He's still in 4th. Verstappen there in 5th, and Smokey there in 6th position. And Smokey, if he can get ahead of Verstappen and Charlie Harris, he is going to be closing in on Menno and on Sebi and Montana very quickly indeed.
Keep going, James. I'm trying to invite Forza Bread into the lobby, so...
That is fine. That is fine. He sent me a message as well. It's fine. AJ has picked up a 3-second penalty for corner cut through turn number 6. And Verstappen now on the back of Charlie Harris once again, just trying to stay in play. And Smokey's coming around the outside of both of them potentially in towards the right hand. And now turn number 11, turn number 9, then in towards turn number 10 through the chicane. He's got 1, and now he loses both positions. Smokey has gone off on the grass and now loses 3 positions to Verstappen, to AJ as well, who's actually attacking Verstappen around the outside of turn number 11, tries to get the job done. just about hangs on in there, coming to a Ascari corner, now through cross at turn number 12, and that's a beautiful move by AJ, round the outside of Verstappen, gets the job done. Smokey, though, got caught on the grass. He just had a big snap, basically, coming on the curb of turn number 9. Jerry's in the pit lane there as well, just ahead, and Smokey now, all of that ground he now has to try and gain back, and it's still a very good drive from him, gaining those 10 positions, of course, out on track. We haven't been on board for the leaders for a while, because nothing's really happened for the leaders. Montana leading the way from Sebi Alex in second, Menel there in third, and they've pulled away about 4 seconds now to Menel there in third. Charlie Harris in fourth, and AJ again on the back. He's on that sort of soft compound tyres, and Dan, Alfa Romeo against Red Bull. This could be quite interesting, especially if we've got the Red Bull Esports guys back in.
Yes, certainly. I'm just going to very, very quickly get things sorted with the invites, and I should be back. But yeah, this has been a very exciting race so far. The battle for the net P3 is, well, it's been exceptionally entertaining. I don't know why I still can't see the name. Maybe I'll just have to completely refresh it. I'm having the same issues you were having earlier on then, as it turns out. So yes, still, well, AJ has done a fantastic job of working his way through these guys, and now lining up Charlie Harris, diving tearingly down the inside. Oh, what a move! You can see that one off. Charlie Harris trying to switch back underneath.
Beautiful.
Can't quite see it through. AJ, that may be one of the overtakes of the event so far. What a lunge, late on the brakes, daring as I say, and in the end he gets the move done, and he's cleared that entire train.
He has indeed, and now Verstappen's on the back of Charlie Harris, running side by side down the straight. This should be easy for the Ferrari to the inside line of the Red Bull. Where have we seen this before in Australia? Verstappen just saves it down the inside line, gets the job done. He is done, he's into P5. Charlie Harris there in second, now Smokey again on the back. Charlie Harris has got the bird's eye view though, trying to go around the outside Whitfield corner, and Verstappen makes contact with him. I think Charlie Harris was just leaning to the right hand side slightly. Verstappen makes contact with the side pod, luckily no damage. Also, Brendan, by the way, has rejoined the session, which is good. Montana though leads the way, Sebi Alex in second, Menel in third. 87 of you, by the way, one of them is me, so 86 of you tuning into the stream. As Smokey has just picked up a 3-second penalty for the same corner cut as what Verstappen did a couple of laps ago, or what AJ did I should say, a couple of laps ago. But Montana leads, Sebi Alex in second, Menel in third, and still Charlie Harris around the outside of Verstappen, and he makes a little bit of contact. You get as good as you're given between them both. The Red Bull and the Ferrari really don't like each other, and the Ferrari's round.
Yeah, just dropping it, heading off turn 10. That's going to be damage, and well, a slightly bad-tempered battle with Charlie Harris on both ends eventually comes to an end. What great entertainment that was.
Montana in.
Montana comes in from the lead, and I think with this surely he's not going to take softs away. He may. We'll see what the strategy is going to be. Sebi Alex continuing on. Montana looking to grab the undercut. It is going to be instead of mediums. Sebi Alex, is he going to follow that a lap later, or is he going to try and split those strategies?
I think he'll probably come in a lap later. He's got to try and counteract, obviously. They don't want to waste the gap, because I think it was about a 4-second gap as Montana, by the way, is side-by-side with Gary, his teammate from LOE, side-by-side with him, down in towards turn number 3. Is it going to be a gentleman's agreement? Of course there is, between the Irishman and the Swissman, and Montana's let go by Gary. Of course, they want to construct this title together this season in LOE Division 1, and that, I think, proves to be the real decider in that battle, because Montana is ahead of Gary, and Gary does not want to fight his causes. Now Smokey on the back of Charlie Harris, running through now the right-hander of turn number 7, and look at the speed he has got. Smokey absolutely breezes past Charlie Harris down the straight in towards turn number 9 of the chicane, and Smokey is Spoonies into 4th, and Charlie Harris there is into 5th. But what is Sebi Alex now going to do out on track? What is he going to do? Is he going to react to Montana? You surely got to, especially because he nearly got held up there by Gary. Sebi Alex doesn't respond. He comes in. He doesn't come in this lap around. So therefore, he's trying to extend that stint. That can only mean set us off to the end.
You're on my wavelength, James Head. That is exactly what I was thinking. Sebi Alex is looking to extend. The question is, how much time can Montana gain in these crucial next few laps? So it's a battle of pace and a battle of will at the moment. We've seen how closely matched these two have been as well so far throughout this Australian Grand Prix. But it's crucial laps for the pair of them to try and establish themselves. Of course, this track much easier now to overtake at than it ever has been in the past. So you can see how that is going to unfold further down the line. Sebi Alex, you'd imagine, will have to come from behind here. He's finally starting to burn some battery. Montana, on the other hand, saving his on his outlaps. So Sebi Alex is intending to at least be close to Montana, or as close as possible, and try and use that tyre advantage, even if he's got a bit of a battery disadvantage. We'll see how this unfolds, but Sebi Alex now pushing hard out there. With the way he's burning that battery, though, suggests he might be coming in on this lap.
Yeah, definitely so. I was on board with the wrong person there. I was running on board with Old School, who I thought was in front of the lead, but he's not. He's down in 18th position, still doing a good job and still going and still picking up points. He hasn't been lapped, I don't think, though, out on track either. Sebi Alex, though, is he in the pit lane? No, he's not. He stays out again this lap around. Menno is not into the pit lane either, so these guys are now committing to that sort of soft compound tyre a little bit later on. Of course, they've got to make that two-stop. Smokey, however, is in. So Smokey is into the pit lane. Obviously not going to be close to Montana. I wish, honestly, we'd got a Smokey-Montana battle. That's what I was leading up in towards tonight, to be honest. But Smokey is into the pit lane. Of course, he's sort of well down the field. He's going to be going on, and the first one on to that set of soft compound tyres. Mick is into the pit lane there as well. I'd imagine that'll be for a set of soft compound tyres. They're on the pit stops, by the way. That's the gap to the leader as well that I've came up. 16.3 seconds. Take a mental note of that. A 16.3 second gap between Montana and Sebi Alex. At the moment, the gap is not really coming down, as Smokey has now got Jerry Zuck to try and deal with in towards Whitfield corner at turn number 3. And he comes from an absolute mile back down the inside line, down to Ricardo S. Doesn't get the job done. Goodness me. Oh, honestly, I thought he was going to be suiciding down the inside line. An absolute dive bomb from Jerry. Doesn't get the job done. Smokey there and Nathan Jerry there in 9th, and just about no contact made.
I have to say, as Jerry picks up a penalty right after that, Smokey, amazing awareness to turn out of the corner slightly, because the move was not on in the slightest, and they still made contact. But I think ultimately Smokey turning out of the corner did just about stop Jerry from spinning entirely, so he can thank the other man in that scrap for still being in that battle. Sebi Alex has continued on another lap, as has Menno. Those guys are looking to extend to a very short soft stint. So they're putting everything on the line here. Must be said, of course, everyone, I'm sure you guys know, but everyone has to make the 2 stops. And, well, we've got a litany of cars now diving in. AJ, Matos, Charlie Harris, and Gary. You'd imagine it's going to be the softs for all of those guys trying to finish the race strong with as much pace as possible. Gap between the 2 leaders, you mentioned 16.3 seconds. It's coming down at a good rate of knots now, it must be said. Montana has found some pace. And Sebi Alex, maybe, just maybe, he's left this a bit too late. We will see his little box has gone off for about the 4th time in this race. So not his day at all. Dropping right down the order. I said we're forcing and those 2 nearly come together. I think they're turn 12. Just about managing to stay out of each other's way. Smokey comes out just in front of AJ. AJ with slightly fresher tyres will try and strike back. We'll see how that scrap further down the order is going to unfold. Sebi Alex and Menno still staying out there. The pit stops, you'd imagine, have to be this lap because they've left it so late and will get enough laps left in the race to make up for it.
I think they will. Sebi Alex is going to be well ahead coming out the pit lane. Here he comes into the pit lane. The Williams in. Would he speed into the pit lane? That's what he's going to do. Get the car stopped under 37 mile an hour around here, and Sebi Alex is into the pit lane. So is Menno. They both respond. What is the gap going to be between Montana and Sebi Alex? I think it's going to be around 3 seconds coming out the pit lane. Judging by my calculations, Sebi Alex is out of the pit box. Montana is already past him, left-hand side of your screen. In fact, he actually breezed on the right-hand side of your screen. Well, he was on the right-hand side of your screen, but he's there. He's miles ahead. Nearly 3 seconds already coming out the pit lane, so pretty much around spot on. But now, Sebi Alex, those soft compound tyres are going to be so much quicker than Montana on that set of mediums. He's got around about a 20% gap, I think, in terms of tyre wear to play with. And if Sebi Alex can warm up his tyres immediately, he's going to be on the back of Montana like a very much hot rash. Menno there in 3rd. He's going to be under pressure from Smokey as well. And Smokey, by the way, earlier on, down the field, of course, in this race, P17. DNF'd in terms of one-shot qualifying, up to 4th position. This man was runner-up, as I say, to Otis Lawrence. This man is very special indeed. Watch out for him going forward. Not in this race, certainly in the future, though.
Yeah, and he's, well, at the very least, he has P4. Granted, he doesn't get any more.
Charlie Harris!
It's Charlie Harris is going to go round the
Beautiful.
To turn 9, gets the move done. That is brave stuff from Charlie Harris. He has been in the wars tonight, let me tell you. Gets the move done on Jerry on those fresh softs. trying to make the most of that pace, and he's looking to gap Matos in particular, who doesn't have a penalty to his name, but it's within 3 seconds. Matos, though, is going to have to contend with Jerry as well further up the road. Sebi Alex has already taken about half a second, if not more, out of that gap to Montana, and of course he had to warm up the tyres on that first lap. This, you'd imagine, would be his best lap to chase down that gap. I think he will be there by the end of the race, but Montana has more battery, and I don't know if there's a harder man to overtake in league racing than NSX Montana, so we'll see how this unfolds.
Yeah, ABS Montana as well, otherwise known to the Relentless Boys, of course. Montana leads the way. 2.2 seconds already, though. 0.3 of a second taken out. Another 1/10 of a second just through that corner alone. Sebi Alex now has got to fly as if his life depends on it if he wants this race win, of course, here in Australia.
Oi.
It seems like it's going to come down to NSX and to SF1L, which is going to be really interesting indeed, because I believe both of them have not picked up a win so far here tonight. So we're going to get a new winner, of course, on the event leaderboard. Montana leads the way. 2 seconds now. The gap. Falstian, by the way, is wanting to show the stops. I can indeed show the stops for you. Everyone, I can report, has made a 2 stop. If you're Little Blocks, you've made 3 stops because he picked up damage, of course, a little bit early on in the race. So everyone's done their mandatory 2 stop. Little Blocks, in fact, has just got past on Cold Paradox. They're having their own private battle further down the field for Wooden Spoon. Oh, not the Wooden Spoon, because that's confirmed to Old School at this stage. Little Blocks there at 16, Cold Paradox there in 17, but still the gap for the lead, the 19.4 there from Sebi Alex, 1.6 seconds. It's going to be close enough, but he's not really gaining the time that I imagined that he would be gaining. I thought it would be 8/10 a lap. He's not getting anywhere near that. Sebi Alex, at the moment, has got Montana ahead of him. Montana hasn't used up any ERS. Sebi Alex has. That is going to be the deciding factor, I think.
We'll see. Montana nearly 30% advantage in that regard, and Sebi Alex, well, he's going to want to have that DRS for as long as possible to give himself the chance, so that's why he's throwing everything into this chase already. The gap is down to 1.1. I think he's just going to miss it on this straight. I think he will get it for the first time on the main straight, heading on to lap 27. That's going to be the first time he will have that rear wing open, but the tyres, well, they're going to be quickly falling past their best. Montana's are older though, so we'll see how that dynamic is going to shake up. At the moment, that gap just hovering right over a second. Montana, he doesn't look to be too concerned with keeping Sebi Alex out of range. I think he knows that it's inevitable that the SF1L driver is going to end up within that DRS range, within that 1 second, as he now is. So here we go. We're going to get the scrap. It's going to be 3 laps between Montana. Backslide heading to the final corner. Holds on to it, but it's nervy. It's tense, and now it's mano a mano up at the front. Montana has the ERS and the track possession. Sebi has the DRS and the tyre advantage. So, well, advantages you'd imagine will cancel each other out, and now they're going to go to war. 3-lap duel for the win, but Sebi Alex looks good pace-wise. The question is, can he get past that Haas, which you imagine is going to be very, very wide in front of him?
To be honest, he was out of DRS range last time around, and the thing that caught me, Montana was quicker in a straight line compared to Sebi Alex, even without DRS. So is that DRS now going to come into effect for Sebi Alex? There's 2.5 laps to go here in Australia. Of course, China with myself and Jess Ball to come after this one, but Montana leads the way here in Australia from Sebi Alex in second. They're miles clear of Meadow. You can forget about the rest at this stage. It's only between these two, and now Sebi Alex sets his sights on Montana. He has to play this, though, completely cautiously, I think. He needs to go as late as possible. If I was in his shoes, I'd be going as late as possible. Try and put Montana under some sort of mistake. Montana is normally unbreakable, but Sebi Alex might be the one to break him as he tries to go for the Opmia move down in towards turn 13. Didn't quite pull off the move there. In towards turn 14. Hassling all over the back through turn 15, and now Sebi Alex sets his sights on Montana in towards turn 1. Again, not using up that ERS, not getting that DRS enabled either. And Montana leads the way from Sebi Alex in second, very close to the back of him in towards turn number 1.
Wow, this is tense. You can see they both deployed some of that battery down the straight, but if Montana can match the move every single time, he's going to have more battery to use. So Sebi Alex, I think, is going to have to surprise him or throw everything at just one move. Montana has enough battery to defend all the way to the end of the race, so it's going to take something special for SFF1 Sebi Alex to find that way through. We will see. Team NSX, Montana, they haven't had the greatest of starts to this event. Montana trying to fly the flag for them then with a lap and a half to go. 38% battery for Sebi Alex. Montana just over 50%. He has that edge, but he's used a little bit more now that he's focused on defense. The two of them skipping over the chicane. They're pushing to the absolute limit here. Sebi Alex, though, he isn't close enough to really threaten Montana. Montana doesn't have to deploy the battery to defend. It's going to be pretty much now or nothing heading on to the final lap. He'll have two DRS zones back to back. That could be his chance. Can he get through there? We're coming up to the final lap now. Montana from Sebi Alex. Sebi Alex also close. He may still have the grip, but can he get the move done, James?
I think he would have got the move done if it wasn't for that shoddy exit coming out the final corner, and now he's on the back foot because Montana sails that down in towards turn 1, uses that extra bit of VRS, and now Sebi has got to react. His set of softs are now going to completely come into play. He had two opportunities there, didn't get both of them because of that same DRS zone being shared, couldn't get close enough to the back of Montana, and that now the next chance is to probably turn number 9, but more likely turn number 11. The right-hander coming through Ascari, not to be confused, of course, with the Ascari corner in Italy. But Montana leads the way from Sebi Alex in second. Sebi still applying a load of pressure to the back of Montana. But as I said earlier on, Montana is unbreakable. Apart from, he's running less fuel than Sebi Alex. That could be a factor towards the end of this race as well. As Sebi now comes in towards turn number 9, right on the back of Montana. It's 2.5 tenths. Coming through the chicane, much quicker than Sebi Alex, skips over the curb, and now this is his chance. This is his good bid for glory. Sebi Alex now on the back of Montana, round the outside and towards turn 11. Montana will defend for his life and still hold the lead of the race. Sebi Alex, a bit of a twitch there, coming out of turn 11, through the right under 12, through the left under 13. I think Montana's got this under control. He goes a bit deep there, Sebi Alex, in toward the final corners, and now Montana through turn number 15. He's weathered the storm. He has weathered Sebi Alex, and this one, it's Renasex Mads. Montana takes the win from Sebi Alex in second. They're a class above the rest. Menno there is going to finish there in third. To be honest, no disgrace at all to Menno. He just couldn't keep up. Smokey there in the end is fourth. AJ there in fifth with more penalties. Charlie Harris is getting caught by Matos all the way to the line as well. And Matos in the end picks up P5 and jumps ahead of AJ in that. Jerry's up to the line in 8th. Gary is going to pick up points for QVR there in 9th. ESW with their best result as well, with Colin Mason there in 10th. Mick there across the line in 11th, with Jake all around the final corner into the line, and he will finish there in P12. At least he actually managed to finish the race compared to Canada, I think it was, where he raced a little bit early on. B-Tech Verstappen coming around the final corner to finish there in P13. He was up there. He obviously had a spin, and obviously with that 5-second penalty, he's down there at the back of the field. Michelizzi there finishing in 14th, but still going, by the way. I think that's Forza Brendan now coming to the line to finish in 15th, now ahead of Michelizzi. Little Blocks and Cole Paradox are 16th and 17th there as well. Little Blocks in the end 16th. Cole Paradox there in 17th. And Old School, well, I think he's either crashed coming through the final couple of corners, or he's just having a bit of fun, I think. Probably the latter, as he now comes to the line and finishes there in P18, reversing across the line there, crashing his way across the line as well. But that is the Australian Grand Prix. What a race that was. Probably the most tensest battle we've seen, certainly in events so far. VSR Smokey, I think, deservingly gets driver of the day from qualifying down in 17th all the way up to 4th in the end. Did a very good job. But that man there, unbreakable in the end. NSX Montana, that one is for you, Mads. He takes the race win.
Yeah, and, well, he had to work for it. That was a great duel between the two of them. Right down to the line, I have to say, Sebi Alex's run through the chicane on the last lap was picture perfect, and that gave him the chance, but Montana placed his car perfectly. No way through in the end for the Swede. In the end, he does have to settle for second, but a good day's work for both of those guys. Menno for Hamburger taking that final podium slot, and I still think they will retain the lead in the overall standings as well. But yeah, that was, compared to Miami, for the two races I've commentated, this one was certainly more entertaining, and a great fight but for the lead, but also battling in behind. We see, well, just look at the standing, you can see a load of drivers finishing within just a couple of seconds of each other, and it was closer than that in that midfield. That battle for P3, P4 in the end was very exciting, and overall Australia has delivered.
Australia always delivers on this game, Dan. Montana takes the win from Sebi Alex in second. Another lap, would have it been different? I don't know. Menno there in third, with Smokey there in fourth. Matos there in fifth, AJ in sixth, Charlie Harris 7th, Jerry Zocht in 8th, Gary in 9th, Colonel Mason in 10th, Mick in 11th, J. Cole 12th, Verstappen 13th, Forza Brennan 14th, Mikelitzi 15th, Cole Paradox in 16th, Little Blocks in 17th. Old School actually managed to outscore Rocco Reggie for real, who DNF'd a little bit earlier on in the race. Old School there at 18th, getting one over, I'm going to say, there on the Brit, and the Brit will certainly not be happy with that. Down there in P19, we are only apparently waiting for us. We're catching up a lot of time in terms of Lobby 7. Lobby 7 is already ready. I just need to be given a friend request. Jess has just sent me that friend request there now. So we are going to take it to a break, and obviously once we get everything sorted, we're going to be back live in just a couple of minutes. So stay tuned for the 24 hours of F1, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes. No. There we are. Ah, here we go. He's messaging. There we go. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, welcome back, everyone. There we go. Now we're on the lobby screen. Welcome back, everyone, to the 24 Hours of F1 event. We are here tonight, of course, for my second and last commentary of tonight, and that is, of course, the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. Luckily, I know a bit about this track because I've commentated around here before. Joining me in the commentary box for this one, though, is PSGL F1 lead commentator. It's Miss Jessica Ball. Jess, how you doing?
I'm doing very, very well, thanks, James. This is my, I think, 4th stint in the commentary box tonight. Should be a lot of fun, this one. We got some very quick drivers in this lobby, and we've also got some drivers who we could bring out a few surprises. So I'm very, very, very excited. And the team that's going to be starting last is Team Hamburger of Jan Trepkov. So yeah, we'll see what he could do starting at the back. No double pointers and no 3-second reductions this one. So it's just the guy that's starting last. That is the wild card for today. I'm not really that surprised, to be honest. Not many people like China. I like China to commentate it, but I hate racing it, so...
Honestly, I love commentating around here in China. Always produces good action. I know QVR Nathan would have been quite good around here. I know Verstappen, though, did do a very good performance in China a couple of seasons ago in LOE, so he's one to watch out for. Izat, of course, in for Relentless, going to be one to watch out for. But, of course, a real poignant win, I think, last time out for NSX Montana, for the NSX team as well. Their first win. They've got Macho on this, Jess. How are we going to perceive this one-shot qualifying session to go? As I think we're just waiting on Will to ready up.
Well, I think we saw it quite close in the last few sessions as well, but we've seen in some races that for some drivers, one-shot qualifying doesn't even matter because they get involved in incidents anyway, but I hope they have learned from the last few races that they can't afford to lose it and go full for it in that one, because that's not how the race is won. So, and I've just been informed by Will that his game's broken.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's not good.
Is there any way for him to leave as well?
He's on PC.
He's on PC. Oh, he's going to have to close his Steam application and everything down.
Yep.
Oh, this is going to be a right headache, I think. But
More, come on.
While we wait
Welcome
for
to Crossplay.
Welcome to Crossplay. Welcome to Crossplay. It's
Okay.
caused us a lot of issues. Just about as when we were getting back on
Okay.
track in terms of the time and everything was going absolutely smooth, this comes into our
Crazy.
once again. But
And
some
beautiful.
donations are currently out on the Just
More,
Donate page,
come
of
on.
course, in the description on Twitch. There are 2 logos that you can click on to donate to both charities, of course, British Heart Foundation, remembering, of course, NSX Mads, who sadly passed away from a heart attack around about a year ago today, to this day, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was certainly a year anniversary when I covered it a couple of weeks ago. And, of course, Vadim Shvetkov as well, who has obviously passed away from brain cancer. Lived alone with it, sadly, as well, only told his closest friends, and, of course, every single penny that you give to our charities, of course, to British Heart Foundation, will go into their research, hopefully to further research heart attacks and the surroundings of that, and also to further research in brain cancer as well. Currently, as the donations stand in front of my eyes, certainly a lot have changed since I last updated. 58% of our donation target of 1,000 being reached for the British Heart Foundation. £590 in total. Felix being the remembering the recent one, £7 donation from him. Great racing for great causes, remembering our friend Mads these 24 hours. This race goes to show the kindness of the F1 League racing community, which makes me proud. Good luck to all competing. And isn't that just a really nice message? I think just to put into perspective what we are all here for. It might get competitive. Yes, we might get aggressive battles as well out on track. But all of this is done for charity. All of this is done, of course, in the name of Mads and for Vadim as well, for the Brain Cancer Foundation, which I will go and have a look at the donations for in a second. However, though, we're getting going in towards one-shot qualifying, which should be quite exciting. And just to save my voice, for certainly the 28 minutes that's going on, take us through the lap with Jan Trepkov, who's actually not going to be competing in this.
Nevy's not. I'll go ball with the Red Bull of Isaacus, who is in last place at the moment as he heads towards the heavy braking zone of turn 2, 3 and 4, while we could see quite a few issues, I think, going into this lap 1 at least as well. Heading towards turn 4 and 5 as well. We can see quite a few people going side by side as they head through the run into turn 6 in the 2018 season. We saw Ricardo make the move there as well. So traction out of turn 3 and 4 is crucial through here. Heading now towards turn 7, 8 and 9. Some people can take it flat, but do not take it flat, because I found out they will get rolled into a little bit of a spin, unfortunately. Now heading towards, I need to get my track up, map the money. Hold on. We are on turn 11 now on the left-hand curve as well. He's currently sitting in P1 at the moment for his team. He's purple sector 2, looking dandy at the moment. It's looking very comfortable at the moment. In heading past turn 13, heading down this back straight here. DRS activated, he activated that quite quickly, didn't they? Going up to speeds at 200 miles per hour plus. We'll see, I think it's around about 202 height top speed miles per hour at least, as he heads towards turn 14 and 15. And then you're going to be heading towards the final corner, 100 metre braking zone into turn 60. And he's going to finish his lap in P1 with a 1 minute 32.303, with Samba in P2, not that far behind him.
Not that far behind him, indeed. Matcher there in third as well. Only 500ths of a second covering the top 3. A bit closer than what we had in Australia, where I think it was 700ths of a second covering the top 3, which was very good indeed. Of course, get your support in, of course, for in the chat. 90 people currently watching. One of them is me. So 89 people watching at this stage. Is it the out on top?
88.
88. We're dropping. It's our commentary.
No, one of them's me.
Yeah, tune out. Well, don't tune out. Just tune in. Bring everyone with you. Izzet takes the win though here in one-shot qualifying. Nathan Samba there in second for ERT. NSX Macho there in third, with Miami there in fourth. Cortez, his good old long friend and rival from the F2 days in LOE, is in fifth. Verstappen there in sixth. Ginger there in seventh. Griff there in eighth. Tails there in ninth. And Max ran at the top 10. Will Lewis did manage to set a lap, by the way, down in 11th position. Energetics in 12th from Baby there in 13th. D3 in 14th. Felipe 15th. Crazy Bird 16th. Oliver Bryn Mike down there in 17th. Real DC in 18th. Young Tripple, of course, not starting at the back of the field, even though we got disqualified from the session. That means NLR Dylan is starting at the back of the field for the NLR team. JD Nolan there, by the way, in the chat saying big bottle on the last corner. Yeah, big bottle indeed. But is that out on top? And Jess, we've only got moments to go until the Chinese Grand Prix. How do you see this one panning out?
And I expect to see some close battles, I think, between the front guys as well, especially between Isa and Samba. I think that's going to get very competitive indeed. I'm trying to get Will into this lobby, by the way.
Giây phút em gặp anh là em biết em si tình, tình 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 tăng tăng tình tăng tình tình.
Because the gap between like the top 12 was like 1.3 seconds, so I think it'll be closer than we thought. So I think they definitely picked the right drivers for this matchup, and yeah, should be a good one.
It should be a good one indeed. Yeah, Will Lewis is back in the session, by the way, which is good to report. So VSR are now up their driver once again. And now the father and lights are about to go out here in China once again for round number 7 of the 24 hours of F1. We're back on time. And we are lights out and away we go. Bit of a laggy start there, but Nathan Samba does get a very good start. Izzet as well with a very good start, and Izzet actually with the strongest start. Miami to the inside line of turn 1 and the Mercedes. Oh, there's contact between them both. Miami absolutely forced the inside line. There's a Ferrari round and a Red Bull round. Max and Tails being caught up in a separate collision further down the
Fuck books.
Oh, no.
Books are for pussies.
No.
Go hit the gym.
No.
Fuck books.
Oh, no.
Books are.
Of turn 1, always going to get turned round there, and unfortunately for him, he's down there in 15th position up the line, but Izzet leads the way from Nathan Samba there in second, Macho there in third, Verstappen there in fourth, Cortez in fifth, Felipe is already up into 6th position, doing a good job, of course, for Relentless Man, T-Griff there in 7th, Ginger and 8th, Baby there in 9th, Will Lewis right on the back of VSR in P10, in fact down to P11, because Z3, he's left the session once again, so that is why Z3 is around the outside of him, and Z3 through and he's into 10th position, of course, for Bottle Job Racing, but Izzet leads the way, Nathan Samba in second, Macho there in third, pretty chaotic first lap.
Yes, it was. We've got Samba on the Sotards. I was expecting him to go for a move on Izza, but didn't.
Oh!
We're seeing some entertaining battles near the back as Jan Tripkov has had a spin in turns 13. So that's not good. Real DC's had a moment as well. There's a lot of spinners at the moment. Samba's taken the lead from Isa into turn 14 and 15 then, but can Isa get the switch back heading towards turn 60? Bit of a lag spike there, I can see at the moment, but it's all good. It's all good. As Will Lewis has just joined. I'll probably have to keep inviting Will, I think, at this rate at the moment, but I'm all right with that. As Felipe, I'm worried that I'm going to jinx Felipe, to be honest. Nolan, by the way, he's called, so I'm not going to say anything, but he's got past quarters up to 5th place.
Yeah, he's normally quite aggressive in terms of his move as well. This is the consolidated Felipe. Unlike his commentary a little bit earlier on, this is the consolidated Felipe that we're seeing. He's there in P5 on that sort of soft compound size. That is why he's probably getting along in this race, certainly. Matt's, by the way, spun in the final corner. He lost the car coming out the final corner, and now he's down in P19 from, I think, P13. He was behind Dylan before that. Crazy Birds is down the inside of Energetics as well. This is the battle, of course, for the LOE boys. That's going to be quite happening. And Jan Tripkov now into 14th as well. He gets ahead of Energetics there in 15th. Miami there in 16th, doing a good job as well. We settle down here in China. Nathan Samba leads the way, is up there in 2nd. Macho there in 3rd. Thule, by the way, in the chat saying how to donate. You can donate, of course, by looking in the description of the Twitch stream. If you're not on Twitch, of course, if you are in the Discord, you can. As Nathan Samba makes a huge mistake coming out the right-hander there at turn number 13, all the way down now in towards turn 13 and then in towards turn 14, of course. But Nathan Samba absolutely obliterated the track limits there coming through turn number 12, and Nathan Samba just about leads the way, is up there in 2nd, but a huge mistake from him.
We just had an update.
Hi, just a little recap.
And Team Umberger has increased their gap at the top of the standings. They're now on 135 points to QBR's 125. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how Hamburger plays this one with Jan Tripkov in 14th. But QBR doing a lot better than Hamburger at the moment. QBR's in P4, so chance for QBR to gain quite a bit at the moment as well. VSR on 117. We'll hope that Will doesn't keep disconnecting, otherwise it's going to be a bit of an issue. But Dylan gets past Will up to 11th spot. We've got Energetics have had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 3 and 4. That's unfortunate. Beast now down into last place. Not good for me, but there we go.
Not good at all for him. And Jan Tripkov, by the way, is doing Crazy Birds, gets the job done. Of course, FSF1L. Bit of a mouthful to say if you're trying to speak quite quickly. Jan Tripkov, I can't even speak. Jan Tripkov, 13th. Crazy Birds 14th. As Eferol Ginger, I think, has just made an overtake there on Baby. Baby, in fact, is actually doing his into P8, so it's actually the alternative move that's happened there. Ginger there down in 9th. And Z-Freaks are there, who I think had a moment last lap around. He's there in 10th position, doing a good job. Will Lewis is back in the session. Hopefully he doesn't keep disconnecting as Baby is round, coming out the right-hander of turn number 11. The McLaren there sent round, I think, because of contact by himself, and now spins completely into wall, reset the track as well, and Baby there down all the way in 17th and being overtaken.
You're not allowed to reset the track. I believe that's 5 championship points gets deducted, I believe, if you reset the track, if they kept the rules from last year.
I think they might have done. Matt is on the back of him as well, into the right-hander as Felipe has now spun. In fact, actually, Felipe's in the pit lane. So Felipe in the pits early. Matt's into the right-hander there of turn 13, gets the job done. Baby there in 14. Thule, by the way, I was going to come back to your point. There are images in the description of the stream on Twitch. Jan Tripkov is on the back of Will Lewis's AI in towards turn number 1. There are images on the in the description. Click on the image, you can donate. It should take you to the Just Giving link, I think. And obviously you can donate through there if you do want to. As Nathan Samba leads the way still, is that in 2nd, Macho in 3rd, and Tails has now gone for a spin as well in the Red Bull. Down there in 17th position, Energetics there in 18th. Yuto, by the way, in the chat saying, come on, Ivor, bring Mike. Yes, get support behind Mike. He's there in 13th.
He's 13th.
He's 13th, and he's currently outperforming the other commentator that's in the lobby, Mr. Ariel Felipe.
Yeah, well, don't forget Felipe has stopped and Mike hasn't. But to be fair, that is true. Mike's ahead of Nolan, so yeah, Mike, better commentator confirmed. Joking. I'm meant to be commentating on I'm meant to be racing in Bahrain yet tomorrow, so I'm scared he's gonna pump me choking. DRS enabled as well. We'll see if Ice can get past Nathan Samba again. He does not. Apart from obviously cosplaying have a few issues, it's so good to have more platforms being able to take part in this, because there's always been a PC thing. Meanwhile, Dylan gets down the inside of Z3 up to 8th place, and I think the softs are starting to die. This is a track where...
Somebody put you off. Is that for the lead? Yeah, down the inside of turn number 1, gets the job done. Absolutely sailed it down the inside line, gets the job done. Nathan Samba now, those softs are surely beginning to go off. Apologies about the lag spikes. Nothing on my end, by the way. It's not like my connection is dying or anything. It is just pure lag spiking. Is that...
Real DC is last.
Ah. Down in 12th position as well. He's got Matt right on the back of him as well, so hopefully he can be drawn back in. Is that the leading the way? Nathan Samba there in second, Macho there in third. And all of a sudden, what Samba has done is obviously bring Izzat into play. Izzat now in the lead of the race, but what this has done more importantly is bring Macho into play. Now, I commentated on a race around here with Macho just a couple of weeks ago, and Macho was lightning quick around here. In fact, he beat the whole field by about 20 seconds. So Macho there in P3, watch out for him. He's got QVO Verstappen right on the back of him as well. This could get quite entertaining quite quickly, as Macho, surely with 95% of EOS, is going to get the job done on Samba, who is completely screwed on his way out of turn number 12.
Yeah, Macho looking very good on the back of Samba, actually. He's even got more ERS to use as well. Samba's only got 3%, so... surely maybe heading towards turn 1, Macho could get the move. Maybe through the hairpin if Samba makes a mistake. They're all very, very tight-knit at the moment, heading towards the final corner. Izzat pulling away, but he can stretch those medium tyres for quite a bit compared to Samba. So, yeah, I think it's going to be very tight as Macho gets towards turn number 1. Is he going to go inside or outside? Oh, my goodness. That is... it was very tight for Macho, to be fair, and Samba. How about turn number 4? Is he going to go through turn number 4? No, he is not. Meanwhile, Dylan has got past Jan Tripkov up to 8th position, but for how much longer? Jan Tripkov is going side by side. Oh, a bit of a love tap there, heading towards turn number 4, but no harm done, no damage, as Real DC is rejoined the lobby, so that's good news.
That is good news indeed. Jan Tripkov right on the back of Dylan. Another lag spike there, but he tries to go all the way around the outside. Nonetheless, through turn number 5. Tries to get the job done out of the exit of turn number 6 now. And Jan Tripkov to the inside line of turn number 7. You don't see an overtake here too often, and that is an overtake. Jan Tripkov boonies into 8th position through the S section. Great stuff. Great defending as well from Dylan. Great battle that, and Jan Tripkov in the end, proving that experience is no object. He is through, he's into P8, Dylan there in 9th. There's now either Bryn Mike has left the session. Everyone seems to be falling by the wayside. Who isn't falling by the wayside, though, is Izzat, leading the way, 9/10 per second. Samba there in 2nd, Macho in 3rd, Verstappen in 4th, Cortez there in 5th, Griff there in 6th, Ginger there in 7th. Will Lewis has managed to rejoin the session there as well. Dylan on the back of Jan Tripkov there, 8th and 9th. Crazy Birds in 10th, Will Lewis in 11th, Macho in 12th, Real DC 13th, Baby 14th, Felipe Tail 15th and 16th. Energetic Z3, so Ivan Bryn Mike and Miami down in the top 20, and there's still 20 drivers continuing on, which is really good, as of course reduced damage is on. And Nathan Samba getting close once again. Maybe this is just the second impetus that we're seeing on this set of soft compound attire. Obviously they're coming back online now. Izzat though has got to try and weather this storm. He's got way more EOS than Samba, so surely Izzat has pretty much got his card absolutely numbered in behind.
Yeah, I think if Izzat wants to pull away from Nathan Samba, he's got to do it now, because this is where the time where Samba... Oh.
Samba's... Are we disconnecting from the lobby here?
No, well, I'm good for me. Samba's lagging for me.
Oh, everyone's lagging for me on my end. Verstappen there in 3rd.
Everyone's lagging.
Oh, no. Oh, Macho's got off track as well. Yeah, this is undrivable, I think, for some of these guys.
This is diabolical.
This is cosplay, unfortunately, at its finest within the Codemasters game, sadly. Izzat leads the way. I think we're back on par. There was a huge lag spike there. Samba has left the session. I wonder how many others are going to leave the session. Yeah, Samba is 2nd still. Macho there in 3rd. I'm not sure what the drivers just saw there. Our timing screens are completely messed up, certainly on my end anyways. We are only a quarter race distance. Izzat leads the way, Nathan Samba in second, Macho there in third, and Montana saying, yeah, it's just Samba's lag. Certainly Samba's lag. I thought the whole lobby was going down there.
I think it was because of Samba's lag that caused the whole lobby to just go kaput.
Yeah.
So, but I do have Sam as a friend, so I will get him back in, hopefully.
As there is a pit stop in behind, Cortez is into the pit lane. QVR man into the pit lane. I don't think he's actually racing for QVR, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he is racing, if I'm not mistaken, for Olimpo, which is the Portuguese team. So Cortez into the pit lane for Olimpo. What tires is he going to go on? And it's actually for front wing change. Softs and the front wing chain. Where's he lost his front wing though? I didn't see a spin, unless the lag has caused his front wing to absolutely go kaput.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people that went off, but yeah, luckily Macho's still where he is, that he was meant to be anyway, so it's all good. Oh, what happened there?
Yeah,
Yellow flag.
DC and Z3.
That is DC. DC's had a moment, turn 2.
I think Z3 was on the outside line of him. What I saw there certainly was DC down the inside line.
Oh, baby made contact with Nolan.
He has. He's round at turn number 5. But yeah, Cortez now behind Z3. Real DC, I think, was down the inside line there on Z3. Got the job done in the end, Z3, but obviously contact made with Real DC, trying to force it down the inside line. Samba's left the session once again. At least it didn't lag that time when he left the session. Izzat, though, leading the way, 1.5 seconds. It's very strong indeed. As Jan Tripkov now makes a move on the FRL Ginger, humbling FRL Ginger at this stage. He's through there and he's into P6. Ginger there in P7. There are yellow flags galore in the middle sector. I think that might be for Z3 from Baby having their battle. And Cortez is stunned. Samba's AI is now in the pit lane. I can't really keep up. Lap down at 28. Izzat leads the way still.
I'm trying to get some more people in back in the lobby who disconnected. There's quite a lot of DCs going on in this lobby. I don't know why. I wonder if it's just the servers having a bit of issues at the moment. But we've got Will Lewis that I can't tell if he's a ghost or not. I think he's back. If someone from Visceral can confirm that he's back, he's not ghosted anymore. So touch wood, hopefully he stays for the remainder of the session. TL44 gets past the ghosted Samba there.
Yeah,
there we go.
He's in. His ERS has just been used up there, coming in towards turn number 5. So yeah, Will Lewis is in the session and is catching Crazy Birds as well. So obviously, if his connection really now just stays stable, hopefully, Will Lewis will begin to see what Will is capable of course, here in China. Catching Crazy Birds quickly, he's already gained around 2-3 tenths per second at this stage. There is, though, a more interesting battle developing for 5th. Jan Tripkov, by the way, who got disqualified, of course, going the wrong way, of course, at the start of qualifying. They were starting at the back of the field. In the end, qualified P19 because of Dylan, I think, DNFing, if I'm not mistaken, in that session. And Jan Tripkov now in 5th position, doing a really stunning job. Ginger there and Dylan are in 6th and 7th position. They're trying to catch him, but Jan Tripkov just looks too quick down the straights to even be caught, as Izzat still leads the way from Macho there in 2nd. And Macho is into the pit lane. So Macho is in, as I would have expected him to, around about lap 9, lap 10. Macho was into the pit lane. If he was going one stop, it would be a set of hards. I think it would be going set of mediums, lasting another 12, 13 laps, then maybe for a set of softs.
Mike, can you add me as a friend on PlayStation, please? Because then I can get you back in the lobby if you're tuned in. But we've got, 3 drivers in the pit lane for their first stop of the race. Another yellow flag. That is...
Energetics, out of the session. And
yeah, he's out of the race.
Ivor Bryn Mike has picked up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision. So Mike is back in the...
It was back in the session, yeah. He rejoined.
Oh. He's rejoined.
And he had to be going into my teammate. Oh, God's sake, Mike.
Shouldn't really laugh, but I think it's Mike joining the session. He's probably ghosted, I'm assuming, inside of Energetics, and then they just crashed. And unfortunately for them...
Yeah, that's probably what happened, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, wrong place, wrong time. 19th position, and Mike goes for a spin, coming into the wall. Mike out of the race. Mike out of the race.
Oh, no.
Some may say from the LOE team that might be a bit of karma there for Mike down in P19.
Yeah, I think so.
Terrible. Izzat leads the way though, Verstappen in second. I can't believe, by the way, we're still only on lap 10 out of 28. I feel like I've been commentating even China for at least the last half an hour. Izzat leads the way, Verstappen there in second. Verstappen has made a big mistake. Oh no, actually no, Macho came in the pit lane, didn't he? So Verstappen there, 3.5 seconds behind. They're both continuing on and in front. Griff there doing well for the IRT team. He's there in third position. Jan Tripkov there in fourth. Ginger there in fifth. They all fly their way through. Got a little bit chaotic this race. Now we're calming down. Matt is on the back of Felipe, looking like the closest battle, as well as Baby on the back of Will Lewis, who's in the wall, coming out of turn number 12.
Oh, it's just a lot of people in the wall in China. I think there's just a lot of spinners today in China. It's just quite hard, but yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we are. And they right side impact damage as well for Will Lewis, who absolutely crashed coming into the wall there, coming out of turn number 12. And Will Lewis there, slowing up. Miami's right on the back of him. Miami in China at this stage. Of course, he was in Miami a little bit earlier on. I think it was California who actually raced there, which it doesn't make any sense if you're American and you're just tuning in for the first time.
Oh yeah, I get it. He should have raced in Miami, and then it would have been much better. But there we go.
Go on.
But there's only one driver to have picked up a penalty. Will Lewis is in again. Onto a third medium. That's his 2 stops done, I think. Yeah, that's his 2 stops done. So we can focus to get those memes for the rest of the race. I don't think the memes can last that long, you know. Let me have a look. How long do they last around the last
no
16 laps? No.
No chance.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, he can go to the end on those compounded tyres, but he's got to be so careful on that set of mediums. Normally I see drivers pin in lap 12, lap 13 on a set of medium compounded tyres, and that's what we're seeing, funny enough, with Izzat, who's in the pit lane, going on to a fresh set of medium compounded tyres. This is his first stop. Verstappen, Griff, Jan Tripkov there, all in the pit lane. Ginger, Crazy Birds also in. Baby, I think, is spun coming through the right-hand return, number 12 there as well. But Izzat leads the way from Verstappen in second. Jan Tripkov there in third. And Macho, where is he going to come out? Right behind Izzat, coming out the pit lane. So not a bad undercut strategy there from Macho whatsoever. Now within DRS range. Now in range for attack as well, which is going to be crucial for Macho on the back of Izzat. Of course, the former Relentless Man under pressure there from Macho there in second for Team NSX. This one is going to get quite spicy very early on here in China, but still under the halfway stage as Izzat leads the way. Macho in second, Verstappen in third. It's only Ecos Matt, I believe, that hasn't made a pit stop yet, as well as Baby, who hasn't made a pit stop.
Yeah, so they haven't done their first stops, of course. Interesting facts about China. Unfortunately, it was cancelled next year due to COVID, so yeah, bit of a shame that China's still not happening, but I think they have a bit more COVID rules, I think, compared to other countries, so fair enough. And this was the track I remember Michael Schumacher took his 91st and final Formula 1 victory ahead of Alonso and Fisichella back in 2006, so there we go. And Max is in the Ferrari at the moment, so yes, as Jan Tripkov has got past Samba up to P8. I believe Samba's back in the session now. Yes, he is, because he's not ghosted anymore, but yeah, he's already been compromised by the game just being the game. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. So Samba there on the back though, Jan Tripkov, he is going to try and think about going for the move back in towards turn 13. Not getting the job done. Hype, by the way, saying, ask James, he will agree. I missed the other comments relating to this. What was he asking in the chat?
He thinks I'm the best driver in the LOE team. No, I'm not.
I think you are. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to be fair, Energetics is out the race. You're here in the commentary box, and you're probably going to take over from them and put the race's time. So there we go.
I'm not driving until 3 in the morning.
Oh, 3 in the morning. Goodness me! Yeah. As Ginger actually goes for the move on Samba. How on earth he pulled that off down the inside of turn number 1? Great move. Wow. Samba in the end. On that sort of hard compounded tyres, completely outskilled by Ginger. You could say maybe humbled by that. Ginger Thuni's into 9th.
Ooh.
Terrible. I'm just going to let that one sink in. Ginger in 9th, Samba there in 10th. Izzat leads the way, Macho in 2nd, Verstappen in 3rd, Felipe in 4th. There are plenty more puns to come tomorrow, by the way, when we get to the final 2 rounds of the championship. Hype, by the way, saying not in the team, in the event. In the event. Interesting. Now, you're twisting my arm there, Hype. You're twisting my arm
Nah.
there, Hype. We've got Montana in the event. We've got Smokey in the event. They're probably the class acts, I think.
Yeah, they're better than me, so shush Hype.
He's just trying to big you up. He's just trying to big you up. That's what he is.
Yeah,
'Cause-
he is. He's a big fan of me. He's asked the question, are you commentating in the night, James? The
No.
answer to that is no. He's not commentating until the last 2 slots tomorrow, aren't you? Saudi Arabia and Bahrain.
I believe I'm also taking over Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this was just
Right.
because Luke has mentioned there is a spinner. Cortez is coming from the right-hand return number 12.
Luke's unwell, unfortunately, so he was going to commentate Luke Etheridge, of course, but he's been coughing every 5 seconds. So, yeah, unfortunately, he has to miss his event as Miami is trying to get past Baby up to 13th place, but no can do, says Miami, as he wants to try and get past turn 16. This could end in tears. It did not end in tears. Miami does get past Baby up to 13th, so the Forest lot will be very happy about that as Baby tries to get one on him again around the outside of the turn 2. Can he hold his line? Hopefully no contact. Hopefully no instance. Otherwise there could be a commentator's. Nice. That was very, very good racing indeed. Yeah, you forgot Drake Dempsey as well. Yeah, but he hasn't raced yet, so technically we don't know. But there we go. What about turn 6 for Baby? No. Good race between the pair of them. It's really, really great to see as Cortez is into the box. I believe that's his second stop. Yes, it is. He's onto a set of the medium compounded tyres. I think that should get to the end, but we'll see.
Griff, by the way, all over the back of Max for P5 as well. Verstappen, by the way, pitted to a set of soft compound tyres, and he's catching quite quickly on the back of Macho, who's just lagging behind on that set of hards. As now Griff overtakes Max down the straight. Job done there for Griff. He is through, and he's into 5th position as Max there drops into 6th. And Dylan, to be fair, is now ahead of the man he started on the back of the grid with. Jan Tripkov there in 8th position, doing a good job. Max in the pit lane, frees these guys up, and now we're going to get a battle between Dylan and Jan Tripkov on the way down the straight. Bit of limited EOS there from Jan on the run down and towards turn 1. There was a spinner in the middle sector. I think that's Cortez again, if I'm not mistaken, through the middle sector, or Real DC, one of the two. I think it's Real DC who was round. Not unfortunately the Real DC, that's only David Coulthard. Is that leads the way. Macho in 2nd, Verstappen in 3rd, Felipe in 4th, but Jan Tripkov on the back of Dylan. Crazy Bird's right on the back of Samba as well. The battle's beginning to develop further down the field. Samba's all out of shape, and Crazy Bird's absolutely sailed on by to the inside line. Parting of the Red Sea on the curve through turn 4. Crazy Birds is through and he's into 9th.
Yeah, to the PC guys, fighting for position there. That's great to see. We're pretty much halfway in this race already, and anything could still happen. And I think the main things that are happening are in the midfields at the moment, isn't it? It looks like it's a battle for position. Now, I'm a bit baffled as to why Baby is not boxed yet. Does he know it's a 2-stop race?
I think maybe he's going set of mediums, and then he'll probably try and go 7 to 8 laps on those mediums, and then put in for sort of soft compound tyre. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, is that Dylan makes a mistake coming out of turn 12? Sorry to put you off there, Jess.
No, it's fine.
Jan Tripkov through, and he's into the number 6 out on track. Dylan there in 7th, and Dylan made that mistake. Just a slight snap of oversteer on banking, just enough to obviously back off the throttle, and therefore Jan Tripkov through, and he's into 6th. Dylan there in 7th. As I say, the battle for what was the last row on the grid. This is now a net battle for P5 out on track as Felipe is into the pit lane as well. This is for his 2nd stop. Felipe, he pitted on lap 4, and now he'll be going, I would imagine, if he's got them, of another fresh set of medium compound tyres to the end of the race for around 12 or 13 laps, which would be very good indeed. Jay Wizzy, by the way, saying in the chat there, Dylan, the effing goat. We're still under the 9 o'clock watershed at this stage, so we can't really say that word. But Jay Wizzy saying there, Dylan is the goat. Yeah, quite literally at this stage. Felipe, by the way, out the pit lane and out ahead, tails in Miami, which is good.
Yeah, and he's done 2 stops, so very ideal as well. And he's got some clear air as well. You really want to be going in front of clear air, because otherwise you're going to be in a spot of bother. So he's going to see if he can get up to where he is at the moment. Everyone around him still needs to stop. So, yeah, I think he's in definitely a good position. 21.5 seconds you lose, I believe, in the pit lane. So quite a lot to lose, but we'll see if he can get back to